Aloha, Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Sacramento, California, February 18th, 2017, 2:06 in the afternoon. Perfect day to talk about sales. And I want to talk to you specifically today about a form of sales sabotage that I see people get wrapped up in. And part of this is the mind game that happens. So a couple weeks back, I get a phone call from a guy that I had trained previously, and he worked for a company, but he couldn't get a hold of his owner. And so he calls me and he's like, "Hey, Scott, here's a situation. I don't think this is a good call. What would you do?" And I said, "First off, you need to know, question is, are you meeting with the decision maker?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Okay, it's a good call then." And then he said, "Well, here's what's going on." He says, "I'm meeting somebody to go talk to them about a system for heating and air for their home, and they work for a competing company." And I said, "Okay, well, what's the problem?" And he says, "I think I may be getting shopped," which is pretty common in the industry. And I said, "Well, give me some more details about what's going on." And he says, "Well, a technician from the company that I work for was out, and the systems failed, and she wants me to come out and go over information with her. And, she works for a competitor." I'm like, "Okay, what's the problem?" And he says, "Well, how come they're not putting it in?" I said, that's the thing that you got to find out. There's got to be a reason why this person isn't moving forward with the company that they work for." And so, in his mind, he was all wrapped up in like all the reasons why he shouldn't sell, and all the reasons why everything was going to go wrong, and all the reasons why he was just going to go in and do an in-out bounce. He was just going to go in, give basic information, and then leave the call and like click off the box and say, "Hey, I've run the sales call." But he did a good thing. He called me and asked me what he should do. Well, it turns out that the company that she was dealing with in this town, that she worked for, she didn't want them to know her set of circumstances. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but everybody's got some challenges in their life, but she didn't want them to know what was going on. She didn't want them to know some of the things that she was dealing with personally, because she felt, in a sense, if they knew that, somehow it could be used against her, okay? So the sales guy that I know went to this town, went and dealt with this woman and helped her find a system, but ultimately because of her circumstances, she wasn't able to move forward with him, but she thanked him for taking all the time and putting all the effort in. And then, you know what? She found some money. She found some money through a friend, through a family member, through somebody. Don't know the details specifically, but she found some money and ended up buying a system from this guy. Right? So he calls me a week later and says, "Hey, look, I really want to thank you for that advice. I want to let you know that I went out to this call and I got to see what was going on. And instead of me taking it like, hey, I'm just going to go in there and just mark off on the box that I did my job, I really went through everything that I was supposed to." And I said, "Look, here's the thing. For the rest of your life in this industry and for the time that you work for the company, you get to go out and tell people, look, I was able to do the right thing for a consumer that worked for a competitor that called us over them." I said, if there's anything that you have in this story, in this whole process, is a good story to tell people. So if you go into a call figuring out some of the reasons why you should exclude it, it can create challenges. Now, I will let you know that there is a point and a time and place to exclude people. So like I have a list of criteria of things that I'm looking for in a company to work with if they want me to train their people. And then there's a list of things that if they have and that aren't going to get taken care of, I won't train them. That's completely different, but I'm more than willing to talk to people. It'd be like, "Oh, look, XYZ companies call me, I don't want to talk to them. I don't know anything about them yet. I haven't done enough discovery. I haven't gathered enough information to go, all right, now I can reject you, and you're either a good fit, or you're a bad fit. You're a bad fit over here, you're a good fit over here, come hang out with me," okay? So the whole thing for you as a salesperson, you got to know that you got to go ask the questions, do the discovery, figure out what's going on instead of rejecting and pulling up. Now, when I first got into in-home sales in like 2002, 2003, I pulled up to a house in a really bad neighborhood, and I went in and I did my sales presentation, and the guy picked the most expensive system. And I'm looking around the house, I'm like, there's no way that this guy can pay for this, right? I'm making value judgments based upon myself without asking the right questions. Long time ago, right? Not too good of a salesperson back then. And the guy says, "Hey, you really don't believe that I can pay for this, do you?" And I said, "Not really." So he goes, "Hold on," goes in the back, grabs like this pile of cash in a bag and says, "Here you go. Pay you all up front. Had a family member pass away, left me the house, and the stipulation was that I have to upgrade the system, but I can't ever sell the home." And I'm just like, my mind was blown. Had I would have like driven up and looked at the home from the curb and said like, there's no way this guy's going to buy, which I did, right? It would have been tough for me to make the sell. He pulled out the money. He's like, "I like you. Put the system in. We're good to go." When you start excluding people too quick without doing the discovery, it will cost you sales. Now, if you could do a small favor for me, in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button. You know what you got to do, you got to subscribe. And then last of all, you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Why not even like discuss Sylvan Bell? We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.